At ease. It's your boy Solar Mortal. First off, let me say I appreciate y'all joining me. I know this time is not as common as a time, but I see a lot of y'all already in the chat. I'll see y'all showing some love. So I just appreciate y'all joining God Talk at 10 o'clock this morning. Right. Now, y'all know that my ultimate mission in life, right, is to enlighten my brothers. You know, my ultimate mission in life is to, bridge the gap between, my generation and the generation behind us, because there is a gap. And the thing is, I always talk about the Napoleon Hills. I always talk about the Wallace Waddles. I always talk about the Neville Goddards that roam this world, right? But one thing that I rarely talk about is there are men that are alive and well right now. There are men that are putting out books and other type of works right now that are just as valuable. And brothers, I'm telling you, today I have such a brother. Today, men, we're going to be talking about just manhood. We're going to be talking about the blueprint to manhood, right? So let's talk about it.
First of all, the greatest thing on the planet is the knowledge of self, and basically the knowledge of the universe. For the mere fact that you are even interested in this or remotely interested in this at this particular time when shit is going on crazy out here, it means that you are the special evolved beings. Stop thinking like a human. You got to start thinking as a God. G-O-D, generator, operator, and destroyer. Is it not written in your law that ye are God? John chapter 10, verse 34, 35. What is the whole of is that the actual gods do not realize they're God.
So, brothers, I have a very special guest that's going to be joining me today. This brother is a native of Dallas, Texas, which where I currently reside. That's special to me. This brother has spent the last 20 years in the IT field making waves in this industry, right? This brother is a motivational speaker, a writing consultant, and a content creator. This brother is also the author of the book, A Toast to Men, which is recently in my life touched me in a very deep space. Brothers, I ask you to give a warm welcome and at ease to my brother, S.D. Booker.
Humble. Humble.
All I want to say thank you, man, for making time. You accepted this request at the last minute, but I had to have you on today. And the reason is because I was just thumbing through your book yesterday, and I read a part of it that I read before, and it hit me hard, right? And I posted it, I tweeted it, and I put it on my Instagram. And man, people were just gravitating to this. People were DMing me about this book. People were sharing it, and I said, man, let me see if I can get this brother on like ASAP. People want to know who SD Booker is. People want to know about this book, A Toast to Men. Excellent book, brother.
Thank you, brother. Thank you. I'm humble. Thank you for that warm introduction, brother.
No problem, man. Now the thing about your book, A Toast to Men, that's what we're gonna be talking about today, brothers. This book is fabulous. The thing about this book that really touched me, man, was that I read a lot of content. I read a lot of book that speaks directly to the spiritual side of myself. Like it speaks directly. I'm always talking about like my guy is Neville Goddard. He's always talking about the manifestation. But brother, there are very few books. There are very few pieces of content that speak directly to the third dimensional side of myself. Right. And that's what this book does. It's almost like, and that's why I titled this broadcast a blueprint, because A Toast to the Men, I read it and I felt like we were celebrating manhood, but I was like, bro, this is heavy. This is like content. This is like a book for the older guy that wants to tighten up on his life, to see where he's going wrong. This is the roadmap for the young man that has no guidance. I said, brother, this is a blueprint for manhood. Right. And brother, I like how, I like how you put it, a toast to men, then you, instead of naming them chapters, you named them drinks. That was a solid touch, brother.
Yes, thank you, brother.
Yeah. Now, this is one thing, man. Like, I can look around this world and I can see how young men are moving, right? I mean, you can go somewhere, you can go as far as like just the respect level, as far as like young men having respect for their elders. You can look at, the violence that we're leaning toward, the excessive use of drugs. Like, and I was reading this quote, man. I'm bringing this quote up from the book that was really, one quote. You said, in this life, if you don't know who you are, what you want and deserve, the world and the people in it will make those decisions for you. So, brother, I want to ask you, like, what do you think the causes are of our brothers, not knowing who they are, and second, where they're going?
Wow, man, great question. So, well, I think there's several parts, maybe 3 parts to that. Mm-hmm. And the first thing is, and as you know, we lack knowledge of self. And so to know self is to know God. Mm. I am God, God is me. Now, when you're born, you don't know anything about God. Your God is your father and mother. That's your God. That's your provisionary. That's your protector. That's your deliverer. That's your God. The problem is, though, a lot of times the male or the masculine energy is missing from that home. And so we're only getting one side of the story, right? We're getting the feminine. And actually, it's not, I can't even call it the feminine side, because that in turn put the woman in the wrong position where she can't be her full feminine self. And now the blueprint is all distorted. We don't have a blueprint. We don't know who we are, how we're supposed to be, our purpose. And once you learn self, you'll know who you are and where you're supposed to go. Some brothers get it. Some brothers can get it outside the home, have a wake-up call. I was fortunate to have an uncle that I really respected. I was raised in the church, had deacons and pastor, but it's nothing like that male in the home, though.
I agree, bro. Yeah, you touched heavy on the book on leadership, man. And I think, I'll be honest. I think, and I'm pointing at our generation, I'm 45 years old. So everybody that range, I think that we've dropped the ball a lot, man. Like for example, this is what I'm saying. Like when I think about like my father and the men of that era, brother, I couldn't move anywhere. If I walk down the street and I'm playing with my friends, if I'm at the mall and I'm seeing grown men, back then, men would check younger men like us. Like even if they didn't know us, if they saw us moving wrong, they'd be like, hey, young brother, like we don't move like that. Even if they didn't know us, all of my friends growing up, all of their fathers were actually like father role models to me. Even when my father passed on, I still had that example. But I don't see that in our generation, man. It's almost like, that's why I'm always talking about like that gap. And I think a lot of it is, due to the fact that we were the generation that first went through the whole divorce era. Like I can remember all of my friends had their biological mothers, biological fathers, and I can remember when one of my first best friends' parents got divorced, brother, the whole world shook. Everybody was like divorce, what's going on, right? And I think that, over time, this has been like the norm. So you have a lot of men growing up, or young men growing up strictly with their mothers, and they don't have that role model. So a lot of us are just, repeating what we've always seen. But I think leadership is crucial. On the other side of that, I see a lot of content creators now that are demonstrating exactly what I'm talking about. There are a lot of content creators that are, in my opinion, and in Soul's opinion only, are leading men down a dangerous road. Some of these men, in my opinion, are doing it for financial gain. But some of these men are doing it because it's their truth. you know. But I think it all comes back down to leadership. I like what you said, this part here. You said without leadership, there is no order. You said without order, there is no plan. So my question to you, brother, is like, if the plan used to be like prior to the day, the plan was for a man to find self, find a wife, have kids, multiply the earth, and leave his mark on the world. But we're going somewhere else. If a man still wants that original plan, how should he move, or how should he navigate in this world to get back to that point?
Be still. Be still and know that I am God. Be still.
Yeah.
And, I think that's a two-part of affirmation. Mm-hmm. So you say, be still, know that I am God. Sometimes I wonder, is that an outside voice? But then I say, no, that's an inside voice. Mm-hmm. I'm talking to myself. That's first person. And so the God within me, I need to be still, get to know myself. And sometimes we're just moving too fast, brother. We're moving too fast. We've got a lot going on. And we need to be still, be off to ourselves, be excluded sometimes for a time period.
I agree, bro.
Ask ourselves questions. I mean, I talk to myself. Now, I don't answer. I haven't, but I talk to myself. And my wife be like, man, what's going on? Now she's used to it, but she's talking to you. I said, yeah, I'm talking to myself, to figure things out, and talking to my higher self. And sometimes, I'm talking to my lower self to get that thing.
Yeah.
And brothers just got to be alone. And that's a scary thing sometimes, man, to be yourself and get to know yourself.
Yeah. You know what, bro? Some of my best conversations, some of my best, moments of enlightenment is having that conversation with myself. And when I say conversation with myself, brother, I get on Dallas Tollway sometimes, or sometimes I get on Interstate 20, bro, and I have a full out, I'm talking about loud conversation with myself. I'll have these thoughts sometimes. I'm like, man, what's this about? What's this? Right. And brother, it was like my higher self would just come out and like, just start chewing my own ass. You know what I'm saying? Like, you moving wrong. You you're doing this. But brother, I agree, man. Yes. I think that all answers are in the silence, man. So, and the thing is there's so many distractions, man. We got, brothers are, I mean, think about it. We have television, we got the, social media. So everybody, every man has eyes on what they think it's supposed to look like. And at this point, men are just like following suit,
Right.
But I think going back to that silence.
Yeah, I agree, brother. I agree.
Yeah, that silence is everything, man. And I always say, as far as to the young men, because it's no secret that we're in a generation now where like the ultimate goal now is self, right? And the thing, let me pause right there, because I don't want to. What I don't want to say is that it's bad if a man wants to just come out of his shell and hit his 20s and 30s and say, you know what, I want to live life on my own mission. I don't think that's a selfish thing to do.
Not at all.
I don't think it's a selfish thing to do. But my thing is, a lot of men are going in different directions because of the fear of things that have taken, for example, I think a lot of men, are saying, you know what, I just want to live my life single. A lot of 20-year-old guys that I talk to, hey man, I just want to roll single. I just want to see the world. And it's not that they just really want to do that. Like, they really want companionship and women and, and wives and all that stuff. But you got to look at what they're looking at is, divorce, and they're looking at feminism that is thrown off the dynamics of men and women. So when guys are moving like that, like, they have just reasons to move like that. But it goes back to what you were saying, man. If a man goes into that silence,
right?
Because see, there was a point in time where when I saw the world for what it was, and I was like, bro, there's no hope. The world is doomed. Like, it's over with. Right, but once I went to that silence, not only did I find myself first, like I found the answers on how to navigate in such a crazy world, man. And going back to your book, man, I was like, this brother is laying out like the blueprint. Yeah. Like, I wish I could just drop this book in every, in every place where there's mad violence, in every red pill page where, guys are still confused about, because even, and not to get off topic, but even when we talk about our relationship with women,
yes,
it all comes down to self. what a lot of brothers don't understand, man, and this is what I want brothers to know, if nothing else, when it comes to women, you will only interact with the women that are a reflection of you. There is no way around that, bro. There is no way around that. You know, I was reading something, brother, and I've been knowing you for how long we been knowing each other, man? You know, about a year or two.
Probably about 2 years, man. When the book came out.
Yeah, you know what? So we've been knowing each other about 2 years.
Right.
And one thing I didn't know about you, brother, that was very inspiring to me, and I know it's going to be very inspiring to other brothers. I didn't know you did time, man.
Yeah. Well, I hate to say time. Some people would laugh at it, but I did 9 months.
Yeah. But this is the thing. This is the thing about it, bro. That was very inspiring. Not only were you locked up, whether it was 1 day, 3 days, 9 months, 90 years.
Right.
Not only were you locked up, but you were locked up with a wife at the time.
Yeah.
And you had a child on the way.
Yeah.
And brother, in the book, when I'm reading this, first off, I didn't know that about you, but brother, just the way you broke down exactly how things played out. And I'm not going to go into detail about that because I want brothers to read that part in the book, because you really have to read that to grasp that. Yeah. Brother, it showed, man. It showed me two things about you, brother, that I didn't know. I've always respected you, but I put you in a different area after reading this, because it let me know that, one, you were a man of faith, right? Because you were standing on faith, and two, it let me know that you knew who you were based on your ability to create the world. Because even though you said, you're saying it was X amount of time, the way that whole thing played out, the way events played out, the moment you stepped out of that cell, brother, that was nothing short of pure God energy, bro. I had to read that again. I said, bro, this is almost like a movie.
Right. Unbelievable.
So my question though is like, from that point, because the thing is, this is where a lot of brothers stop. A lot of brothers, to get to that point, and you got a little time, I got something on my record, and I'm shutting down. Like, my life is over. Well, like what did you do? What have you done over the last few years? Like, how did you overcome that to get to where you are now, man?
Wow, that's a good question, bro. I've always had a high belief in myself. I've always had confidence, and sometimes I feel like I can't relate to certain things when brothers say they're discriminated against, or when I hear people say darker skinned people are discriminated against because they're Black or so-called African American. Sometimes I can't relate, and I have to humble myself and just try to perceive myself within them. But I've never had that issue, like, with confidence. I always believe if I put my mind to it, I can do it, no matter what the obstacles are. No matter what I'm facing, I believe I'm going to win. I've always believed that. So I've even made it in the high rankings in IT. And people ask me, did I go to school? Man, I didn't go to college. I've only stepped on the college campus to party. And I don't lie on my resume. So I see what the prerequisites are. I see they say you need a degree. I see all that. I say to myself, that doesn't matter. I'm getting this. I'm getting this job. I'm getting this opportunity. Whatever the case may be, I pursue it. I get it.
Facts.
Yeah.
Bro, I tell brothers all the time, I've been saying it for years. Man. I said it on the recipe. I said, bro, when you talk about degrees, when you talk about credit score, when you talk about, all these worldly things that's been put in place to, as barriers for us, I said, that stuff is only a barrier or good if you put your energy in that.
You're right.
Like I tell people all the time, I said, brother, I started a trucking business. I started straight path trucking with bro. I don't know what my credit score was. My credit score, it probably didn't even register. It was probably a 500 or below. I didn't have any money, and started a business strictly based on me knowing who I was and me knowing what I was capable of.
Yeah.
And I tell people all the time, and I'm glad you said that, bro. I'm glad you said that because you know, I saw, you know, like we're colleagues on LinkedIn, and I see you've done some amazing things, bro. Amazing things in IT, and have reached, you know, high levels. And to hear that you don't even have a degree, I'm glad you said that, brother, because a lot of brothers have this limiting belief based on these world values. And if there's nothing else, I want my brothers to know is that you can get around, that's not stopping you. I don't care if you've done time. I don't care if you've lost a job and your parents couldn't send you to school, or if you live in a bad part of town and you ain't got a lot of good clothes to go to an interview, and a million other excuses we have. When a man knows who he is, when a man knows what he's capable of, brother, his options, his life is limitless, man. And brother, you are a prime example of that.
No doubt.
A prime example of that. Man, I'm glad you said that.
Hey, let me tell you a short story.
Yeah.
IT. So you mentioned, you know, I did a little stint in county jail. I didn't go to the pen, so I'm not a felon, and that's not knocking felons, and that can't even hold you back, right?
Yeah.
If you believe in yourself. But when I got out, I started reevaluating some things, some choices I made, and at the time, this was like 98, 99. Yeah, 98, 99. So I told my wife at the time, I said, I'm gonna go to this trade school to study computer engineering. And her first words were, "You're not gonna be good at that. You don't know anything about computers." And right then I told myself, yeah, she can't go to the next level with me. You know, this ain't gonna work. Like, if you don't see the value in me, what I can do, I don't know we can make it to the next level. So I went to this trade school. Now, once I didn't go to college, I didn't go to a university. I went to a 2-year trade school in Garland, Texas. And I didn't even graduate because the school went bankrupt and shut down. So I didn't get a certificate, man. No one got a certificate, and it's crazy. But so I went to school. In the middle of that, we separated. That's in the book, how we separated and all that drama. So fast forward, man, I got out to school, had a little bit of training on my resume, but no hands-on. This is when the internet really wasn't big. Job boards weren't big. This is when you had to go into companies face-to-face, man, just, give your spiel. Ran across this guy, gave him my spiel. I had no experience. I said, did a little schooling, a little training. And he listened. And he said, you know what, brother? I'm going to give you an opportunity. And he sent me on a contract, digital technology out in Plano. Sent me on a contract. And I started just doing fixing brakes, entry level. Man, within a year, the manager came to me and said, hey, you want to be a network admin? Our network admin is leaving. Going to take over. And I'm like, what? I don't even have a degree or anything. I just got into this game a year ago. And I turned it down. And so, lasted there for about 4 years. Man, we go to child support court, me and my ex-wife at the time. We go to child support court, and they say what I'm making. And she was like, wow. After the court session, she goes up to me. She's like, wow, you did it. She never imagined that I could make that kind of money legally.
Yeah.
And to where I was. And from there, man, I just always just moved myself up the ladder. And what I do, although I've never been to formal schooling like that, I self-teach myself. And brothers, you got to be disciplined to self-teach yourself. I go get me a book out of Barnes and Noble, and I'll sit in there for hours and study. And then I'll go do what I got to do, man. Take the test or to get certified or set up my resume, go get the interview. And but yeah, I never let the job description, what the prerequisites are, getting that job stop me.
That's amazing, bro. That's amazing, bro. You know what? I'm glad you hit on one part. You talked about a woman that was in your life previously And like once you felt like she had capped out, like you had to separate yourself from it.
Right.
Bro, that is crucial. Like a lot of men don't understand. Like when I talk about men, coming together with a woman, like, yeah, you're still quarterback in the relationship. You're still the man. But wherever your woman is capped out, like you're bonding with that woman. So if that's her cap, a part of that's gonna be your cap, man. So if your woman doesn't believe you can hang the freaking moon and stars, but you have to back out, man.
You're right. You're right. And fast forward, just a little short. Fast forward.
Yeah.
So now my wife, right? So when I met my wife, I was doing my independent thing, had a skincare line, but I also was in IT, being an IT admin. 2 years into the marriage, I came to her. I said, "Hey, babe, I'm about to get in. I'm staying IT, but I'm going to be a business analyst." A business analyst, man. I've never done this, right?
Yeah.
And so she said, "You can do it." You see what I said?
Yeah.
That you can do it. Man, within a month, I had a BA job, business analyst job.
Dope.
I did that for 3 years. I went back to the wife. I said, "You know what? I think I want to do some project management."
Yeah.
They said, "Babe, you could do that." Now I'm doing project management, man. Just like,
that's powerful.
Never would have expected, man. I'd be reporting or in meetings with some of these guys, and I lead guys with PhDs and masters. I lead these guys on projects, and
that's powerful.
Or masters or bachelors.
That's powerful, bro. You know what it makes me think about? It makes me think about when Neville Goddard. And I'm gonna put this question up for you to answer this question, brother. It makes me think about when Neville Goddard was talking about Abdullah teaching him, all the stuff that he knows now. And he would always say, like he was like, this dude is doing stuff he shouldn't be doing. He was like, Abdullah was a black man. He said Abdullah was going to like movie theaters and all these places in a time where black men wasn't even supposed to go there. He said, but Abdullah was having the best seat in the house. He was just showing how powerful this man was. Yeah. So it goes back to what you were saying earlier, brother. Like all these limitations, they're just worldly limitations. But when you tap into that plug, all those barriers fall down.
Yes.
Joseph Y says, can you talk about the process of learning to trust that voice?
Well, good question. Good question. The first step, just do it. Do it. Take that risk. And you got to understand, these barriers, they're not real. People have set these up, but they're not real. And you've accepted them in your head, and they're not real. You can't be afraid to fail. Mm. You can't be afraid to look foolish, to fall on your face. Man, I have to look at myself in the mirror sometimes, and I talk to myself. Sometimes I look into myself in the mirror when a negative thought may come in or some insecurity may come in, and I'll say, shut up. Man, shut the F up. Mm-hmm. You can do this.
Yeah.
You can do this. I have to talk to myself like that sometimes to combat that negativity. Just do it. Don't be afraid how you look. Don't be afraid of starting over. Man, I've been turned down from gigs I wanted. I've bombed in interviews because I wasn't ready. It was too high level. I wasn't prepared.
Yeah.
I had to revisit, go back to the drawing board, and I've got some opportunities, some consulting jobs that people probably thought I shouldn't have gotten, and I've excelled. But you got to step out on faith in yourself, and don't be afraid of looking ugly. Don't be afraid of failing.
Mm-hmm. I agree with that, bro. And one thing I would add on to that too, to speak to what Joseph was asking, is to learn from your experiences. Like you said, don't be scared to take an L, man. Like if you aren't taking L's in life, you aren't pushing yourself hard enough. Exactly. But what you need to do is kind of like you did. Like you go, if you get the L, don't take it as a loss, take it as a lesson, man. And say, you know what did I do right? What did I do wrong? And how can I become better? Because I'm a firm believer that all things work for the good. So even when I take an L, bro, I'm like, you know what? There's some gem in this. There's something I can take away from this that's going to better me going forward.
Yes, sir. It's all about perspective.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
This is beautiful, man. It says, Elijah says, that's facts. I started doubting my own doubts that come in my mind, started noticing the difference in how I move. Facts. And make sure y'all get those likes up coming in. Says Element One podcast says fear is an emotion that must be understood as a teacher instead of an attack. Facts. But I want to swap gears a little bit. I was reading in one of your chapters, Drinks, rather, brother. And you were talking about the 4 standards of evaluating a man's character. And brother, you hit some home runs in this chapter, bro. And you said that some of the, when evaluating a man's character, things you should look at are, you said, credentials, energy, his confidence, and his attitude. Now I took that, and after reading that chapter, man, I had a very clear understanding of how you could really define a man in today's world, right?
Right.
But then I matched that up with a lot of rhetoric that's going on around nowadays. And I say rhetoric, but I'm talking about the whole high value man thing. And now I'm gonna lie, when it comes to a high value man, I think brothers are, because everybody has several versions of this, but I think brothers are, for the most point, describing a lot of what you said. You were hitting a lot of home runs. But the one thing that I don't agree with that's being placed on this high value man is his financial situation. And I noticed you didn't put that in your when you talked about the character of a man, you put nothing about his income or what he earns. Right. Why didn't you include that?
Well, money is a resource, and on this earth, this life we live in, it's a valuable resource, but it's only a resource. It's no different than a hammer to a carpenter or a saw to a carpenter. It's a resource, and depending on how you use it, it can be, a positive resource. But money is a byproduct of you doing the right thing. You living righteous. You pursuing your purpose. You pursuing your mission. The money will come. I know that for a fact. The money will come if you're lined up within your purpose. So it's just a byproduct.
Yeah.
So I've never denounced or marginalized money, but I won't put it on a pedestal either.
Yeah. I like how you didn't put it in there. And I read that chapter twice. I read that drink twice, right? And I was like, the brother didn't put money in there because I think a lot of men just understand, like you said, money is a byproduct. Like if you check all these boxes, if you check certain boxes, like money is just an automatic result of that. Yes. But I think that like even before that money comes, like that character of a man is still that character. Yeah. Because think about this. Think about, and everybody's gone through highs and lows. Everybody's, had high points. Even a man that's in his, that's standing on his square, that's living the right life, that's checking these boxes, credentials, energy, confidence, attitude. If his bank account is negative, whatever, he's still a high value man.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? He's still a high value man. And I told the story. I don't know if it was a video or if it was in a document. I don't know what to put it in, but I was telling you about a brother, a homeless man. That in matter of fact, that was a homeless man. Like the reason that I'm doing YouTube now, the reason that I've done a few things, I've written a few things for some newspapers, was because of a man that had no money. You know what I'm saying? This brother changed my life by kind of almost mentoring me as I passed through him downtown Dallas, even mentoring to my son. I was like, brother, this brother added so much value to my life, changed the trajectory of my life. Strictly on just him being him. And the last time I saw him, just by him being him, it kind of goes back to what you were saying. He was coming out of that situation. Last time I saw him, he had a cell phone. He was like working, kind of helping a guy paint. His life was starting to come back out of that thing. So like you said, it's just a byproduct. Like if you stand firm, that like your world will eventually start doing a thing. Let me give a shout out to brother Drive By Brian. Appreciate that super chat, brother. Conscious Queen says, I agree. I curse myself out daily. She's talking about the whole self-talk. That is crucial, man.
Yes.
That self-talk is everything, man.
Man, it is. And piggybacking off of the high value man deal, you know, the gentleman that you say someone mentor you, influence you to be where you are today. And see, that's the reason why I don't put any man below me, and I don't put any man above me. I look every man eye to eye, because you can learn from anyone, and you could teach anyone. You may look at a Les Brown, or not you, but someone may look at a Les Brown or Bill Gates or Barack Obama and say, I can't teach him anything, but yes, you can. This man in you. And you may look at someone living off on the street under a bridge and say, he can't teach me anything. Yes, he can. You know, we're teachers and students in this game, and you can learn and teach anyone. And so yeah, no one's above me and no one's below me. Every man's eye to eye.
Man, that's powerful, bro. And facts. Again, y'all, the book is a toast to the men. I have a link of it in the description box. I'll probably be putting a link here in the comment section in a minute. It's a must read. Like I said yesterday, this book is quickly working its way up, man, to my top tier because it does, like all the books I've always purchased, they speak to a certain side of myself. But man, we've neglected this third dimensional self. Very few people speak to us and say, you know what, this is the blueprint on how you march while you're here. And brother, this book is going to transform men's lives, man. It transforms men's lives, brother. So definitely check out this book, A Toast to the Men, S.D. Booker. That was one part you talked about, man, and it kind of struck me because this was a part that a weakness of mine. Shout out to shout out to sister Nina LGZ. Appreciate that super chat. 11. Much love. And it spoke to me because it was a problem that I had for years. And it was a part of the book where you were talking about men working with other men and networking. Brother, that's been my a weak part of my life for years. And I really don't know why. Like, I've always been a type brother say, you know what? I'm just gonna move solo. I'm just gonna roll solo. And there are some pros and cons to that. Like I know that when I roll solo, that at least my energy is going to be contained and protected. And I know that I'm going to stay the course. But what a lot of men don't understand, or at least I didn't understand, is that once you start networking and just start rubbing elbows with brothers, just general conversation, brother, that is powerful. You had a quote in the book. You said, for a man to reach his full potential in any realm of life, and I paraphrase this part, I said, marriage, business, etc., for the restriction of characters. You said he will need to forge a partnership with someone or many people.
Yes,
brother. Let me ask you this: when it comes to working with other men, whether on a professional level, whether it's in any realm of life, what qualities do you look for in a man to work with him? Because that's my challenge.
Right. Wow. Man, that's been my challenge throughout the years too. So by nature, I'm an introvert. I kind of keep to myself, and man, and I could be impatient with guys. Sometimes when I see certain stuff, I could be impatient. But to connect with those type of men, first, as you know, you have to be what you want to attract, right? So that's the first thing, putting yourself in position. The second thing, when analyzing men, are they qualified? Are they qualified? And then you want to go on, okay, you're qualified, but what is your character? Or do you hold yourself accountable? Are you responsible? Are you a team player? So qualifications are you qualified, and what is your character? Now,
it's huge.
Now, a person could be on paper not qualified, right? But they have the character. I'm willing to work with that person, but I cannot work with someone who's qualified but does not have the character, because we're going to crash and burn.
Yeah, I feel you.
Yeah.
I feel you. So let me ask you this. Taking that same quote taking that same quote, for a man to reach his full potential in any realm of life, marriage, business, etc., he will need to forge a partnership with someone or many people. Taking that same quote, because it is a partnership, it is a business.
Yes.
What attributes, what traits, what qualities do you look for in a woman to bring her on your team as a wife?
Man, that's a good question. You go in there with it, huh? So this is good stuff, man. So first thing, and people may say this is misogynistic, but does she listen? That's the number one thing. Like, does she listen? A lot of women don't listen, and so a lot of women are combative. And so if she listens, man, we got the potential is limitless, because I'm going to do my part. I'm going to handle my part. And if she listens, that's going to make me get on top of my A game and say, man, I can't let this woman down, man. She put her faith in me. She's following, she's being cooperative. I got to stay on top of my game and come through. And I'm telling you, man, that's motivated me to go to the next level on several things, because my wife cooperates. She listens. So I'm like, I can't drop the ball, because I don't want to lose that trust. Mm-hmm. So even if it got tough on finishing the book, no, man, I got to finish this book. She's watching me. She's going to hold me to my word. And, that's the thing, man. Does she listen?
You know what, man? And I'll be honest, and I don't want to get too personal, but I love seeing you and your wife interact. I love it, man. There's so much there. I'm gonna tell you what I love about it, man, that I rarely see. Like she has so much reverence for you. Like, just the way her demeanor when she's around you is a certain way. I can tell that she's checking those boxes you talk about. But this is what I'll say, and this is what a lot of women don't understand. The fact that she's like that, I can see what it does to you. Yeah. And I can see you give her that love back, even on camera, man. I'm gonna tell you this: a lot of men are so caught up in this mindset that's going on now that they're afraid to even show their women love in public. Like when I see you and your woman, you and your wife, let me call it right. When I see you and your wife on video together, brother, I can see that she openly loves you. You openly love her. And y'all's communication, the respect, bro, it's a beautiful thing. And I always say that it comes down to a man's choice. So on one side, I think that men should choose better. It's like, bro, it's like the world is teaching us that a woman has to be this and this and this for her to fit this trophy wife setup. And a lot of these women have these attributes on are empty. A man has to look at a woman, man, for who she is and just have these certain spiritual qualities. And I'm telling you, bro, your wife is a beautiful woman, man. And I can see that I can see that she has a lot to do with who you are now. I can see it, bro.
No doubt, man. She believes I can do anything. I'm serious, man. It can be scary sometimes, but also, one time I asked her. I said, babe, if I asked you to, I said, if we were stuck on the roof or something, and I said, let's jump. I said, not to kill ourselves. I said, but let's jump for a solution. I said, would you jump? And she was like, yeah. I said, why? She said, because I know you got a plan.
Damn.
I know you got a plan to get us out of here some kind of way. I'm going to trust you. Man, that, and brothers listening may say, man, that's a beautiful thing, but you got to understand, brothers, what comes with that. That's a lot of responsibility, man, and a lot of accountability when someone's trusting you like that. But I know for a fact, man, it can manifest into something beautiful and be a blessing to your union, to others. But it just keeps me on point, man, knowing someone believes in me like that.
Let me ask you this, because you mentioned you were married before, and you mentioned that your ex-wife had limitations that restricted you. Like, what did you change within yourself to attract a higher quality woman? Or
Well,
how did you start moving different?
yeah, I had to change my environment and I had to change my mindset, consciously change my mindset. I'll be honest. So, and my wife knows this. Man, my lower self, I grew up in the hood. People that know Pleasant Grove, inner city community in Dallas. And that's not really an excuse because all men are not the same, right? But with me, my lower self, man, I'm attracted to that ghetto hustler hood chick, man. I'm being honest with you.
Yeah, yeah.
So I have to, and they always wonder, why are you with me? Because the way I move, but I had something going on in the inside of me, right? That was hood, but on the outside, you probably never suspected, right? So I had to really check that and be conscious of who I'm connected with. And I had to give some people the Heisman. And I had to run out of some situations because I knew where it's going to end. Now, having said that, that's not to disrespect that type of chick, right? But she wasn't meant for me. Now, if she was connect with a certain type of guy, they could come up actually righteously. But that wasn't meant for me. I had to connect with a certain type of woman to get me where I need to be.
And let me say this real quick. I put a link. I put a link in the in the chat. Anybody want to chime in and ask Brother Booker any questions about manhood? But I can relate to you, man, because there was a point in time where I was highly attracted to the ratchet chick, and even in my youth, I liked the ratchet of the ratchets, bro. Like that was hot to me. And as I matured and started to come, I like the woman with balance. And I'll keep it 1,000. I'll keep it 1,000. Even a woman in my life now has to be in her DNA.
Right.
like in certain situations, I want to see it come out. I wanted to still be there. But I get what you're saying, brother. I think as we evolve, we start seeing different things because the thing is, when I was with that type of woman, I got different results in my life, so I was like, you know what, I can't keep doing the same thing and expecting, expecting different results. So I had to just evolve as a man. And I know, as far as like how did I go from attracting the women of my past to attracting the women now? It goes back to what you were saying earlier, man, just going to that silence, going to that place and finding self. Because if I'm like, okay, well, every woman I'm getting is like this, at some point I had to say, you know what? Damn it, I'm the common denominator. Like they must be just like me. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So I had to say, let me pause. Let me stop trying to get numbers. Let me stop hopping in DMs. Let me just pause and find self. Let me elevate myself. I mean, I instantly started to see a different caliber of woman. I started seeing a woman, like I almost started seeing women that even in the past I wasn't even attracted to. Yeah. But I was like, man, this quality woman is so, is so attractive to me now.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, in the past, man, and me and my wife talk about this. In the past, I don't believe I would have been attracted to my wife. My wife's beautiful, of course, but she's girly. Mm-hmm. She's very feminine, mm-hmm. and I just wouldn't have been attracted to her, and it's crazy. But as I matured, I started looking at different things that I needed in my life, man. Very nurturing.
Yeah. So I'm gonna see OD the Great. OD.
Hold on 1 second.
All right, brother.
Can y'all hear me?
Oh yeah, we got you.
Hey, what's going on, fellas? How y'all feeling?
Life is good, man. You live with brother S.D. Booker in the flesh, man. What you got for us today?
Yeah, brother Booker, man. Just with both of y'all, kind of, I got a child, and I'm kind of like in the same predicament where, I kind of outgrew my mother's child or whatever, and she kind of hood or whatever, and I'm hood too, though. You know what I'm saying? But I'm transitioning, to, being who I'm supposed to be, right? But how you go about like raising your child? Because I know, like, she ain't ratchet where she got my daughter twerking and nothing like that. But it's just like how do you go about being a father and y'all kind of putting different principles and morals in your child? Because it kind of mess with me, man, knowing I'm not there every day.
Wow, man. This is a lot of brothers going through, man. I went through this too. And I'm telling you, man, be honest with you, it's almost impossible if you're separate, different homes, man. You got different principles and just different viewpoints and perspectives of life because um, it all comes down, man, who has the more enforcing voice in the child's ear? And a lot of times the mom, when you're separate like that, not all the time, but a lot of times the mom has the stronger voice in the child's ear, and especially with boys, and but not all the time. But this is what I would say to you, bro, if it's possible. If it's possible, if you're not with anyone right now, and if that's the only gripe you got with her, I would try to work that thing out. I would take a trip with just you two alone, have some alone time, and have that face-to-face talk. Uh, and just break it down where you going, what you see for yourself, family, what you want for her and the kids. And if you can make that work, I would say make that. Yeah, I would say if it's possible, man. Now, if you with someone, no disrespect to that person, right? But single, and she's single. If you can make it work, make it work. Your only gripe is, ghetto. Well, let's see if it can work. Have that talk with her. Not in traffic, not on the go. Have that time. Get away.
Hey, brother OD, I have a question for you, man. Like, did you have a father in your life growing up?
Nah, I was in the streets.
Yeah, and see that's crucial, man. That's crucial because and I can relate because I didn't I had a father, but when my father passed, like there was a whole 10, 12 year period of where I had to go without having that direct instruction from a father. So once I became a father, brother, I was trying to recreate something I had never really seen, or to a certain point. So
Right.
so I like what Brother Booker said, man. Like one, if y'all can get back together and get in the household and raise your child up in one household, brother, that's going to be an advantage to your son or daughter. But let's say in the event y'all don't, brother, you still you have to understand this. You're going to be trying to raise a child with something that you don't know. So man, constantly, look for sources, man. Reach out to brothers that have children. Ask those questions, because even now, here I am, a 45-year-old man. I have a 14-year-old son living with me, and it's almost like I'm learning how to do this on the fly at his age. Like I don't have the experience of being a 14-year-old child with a father, so it's like I'm trying to learn. I'm reaching out to brothers like SD Booker and other friends that I have with children, and I'm asking questions. Man, my partner Lane, one of my best friends growing up, brother named Lane, man.
Yes,
Lane is like, if I want some information about fatherhood, I go to him, because one, I know he has my best interest. Two, he's growing up, he stayed right behind me. His father was there, and we had a conversation about a couple of months ago, and he was just talking about some kind of interaction with his son. And brother, it just blew my mind. I was like, oh, like I never thought about interacting with my son like that. So, brother, even if y'all don't get together, man, or whether y'all do stay together, still reach out to other men that are doing it, so you know how to raise your child, brother, because we don't know. Right. And I'm the first one to say that I'm still learning this on the fly, bro.
Me too.
You know what I'm saying? So I will leave you with that, bro.
Yeah. Do you have a mentor, OD?
Nah, I ain't. Y'all my mentor. I'll be listening to videos, and I'm 34, so I'm not young, you know what I mean? And I've matured a whole lot, you know what I mean? Like I said, I'm always about progression. So, man, my daughter, she's 3, about to be 3, and in those 3 years I've just changed, you know what I mean? And it's no gripe to my mother's child. Like, because she's not a bad person. She just, was raised how she was raised, and like she's a go-getter. Like, I mean, she works and stuff like that too. But it's just like, man, we just different. You know what I mean? And we kind of just growing apart because I'm just trying to hit another level. So it's not, I'm not blaming her or anything like that. I just feel like it's difficult. Now here go another part. We not in the same city no more. Like we 2 hours away. You know what I'm saying? So I try to go get my daughter, every 2 to 3 weeks. Cause I'm gonna be in her life. I'm gonna be, and she FaceTimes me, man. She got an iPad, man. She know how to FaceTime me, man, and hang up. And it's like I'm near, but at the same time, I just never imagined me not being there every day,
Yeah, like us as men, we can talk about our sons and being an example, but when it comes to sons, I think we can kind of relax a little bit. Like I can see my son can watch me slip every once in a while. But and this is me personally. But when it comes to like a daughter, brother, you have to move from my standpoint. I don't have a daughter, but if I had a daughter, I would think that I had to move twice as strict. Because not only am I teaching her how to move in a certain way, I'm teaching her what to expect from another man. I'm that example. When a man comes into her life, the first thing that she's gonna do is say, you know what? How does this match up with how daddy moved? Right. Like, was daddy an upstanding man? Was daddy running the street? Was daddy doing all this stuff? So, brother, so she's 3 now, but she's already watching you, bro. Oh, yeah. She's already watching you. So if nothing else, man, make sure you walk a tight line because you're the example of the man she's gonna be attracted to, man.
And that's what I was gonna say, and I don't mean to take up all you brothers' time.
No, but
I was just gonna say, like, with Brother Booker, were you saying like try to work it out? I'm gonna be all the way honest. Like we like oil and water, you know what I mean? And she was raised in the South. Her mother was very headstrong, independent woman, so she just got that mind state of I won't submit, and it's just a tug of war. And I feel like I'm just one of those guys that man, I can't deal with it. I'm a man's man. I'm a, whatever you want to say, alpha male, whatever, all that. But I don't want my daughter growing up in a household where, we arguing all the time, because that's how I was raised. I had a stepfather, but, it was a lot of trauma with that. You know what I'm saying? And he wasn't never a male role model for me, to me or nothing. It was just a crazy, that's a whole nother story. But I just don't want her to grow up in the environment I grew up in, basically. So it's like, man, Yeah,
but I feel you, bro. But all you can control is you. And so I would say be consistent. Be consistent in the child's life. Be consistent in how you communicate with the mom. Be consistent. Some things I know can out of your control. She can bring that heat to you, that drama to you, but be responsible for your actions. Right. That's all you can do, man. Be consistent, and that's not saying you may not have any friction with the child and how the child view things, but I believe, man, at the end of the day, it's all gonna work out. If you do what you're supposed to do, it'll work out at the end, man.
Oh, it's gonna work out. Hey, man, like I said, bro, that ain't even no choice. That's not even a question. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna be there, like I said, man. We FaceTime every day. I'm going to pick up 3-4 days every other week, man. So that ain't even no option, bro. That ain't even no option. But I appreciate y'all, man.
Oh, man. Appreciate it, brother.
Thank you.
Hey, I'll put the chat down there. Anybody wants to chime in, ask a question about manhood in general, ask Brother Boogie any questions, feel free to chime in. We're gonna take a quick 60-second commercial break. But when we come back, Brother Booker, I want to ask you about the chapter or the drink in your book called Gentleman Status.
Yes.
We'll be right back, guys.
He gives actual quotes that you probably never even heard before. He said that Henry Ford was aware of it. All of them were aware of it. This is the secret inner teachings that that Napoleon Hill was not necessarily able to give out. This is one of the things that's missing from the secret. You are actually a broadcast tower that's broadcasting energy into the universe. And you wonder why you get the results you get and the people show up in your life, because it's what you're broadcasting.
the thing, it took me the longest out, you know, when things weren't going my way, I was like, you know what, there's something I'm not doing. And I was trying to figure out what that thing was. I would go to these books and say, you know what am I not doing? What do these people know that I don't know? What do I see people that are succeeding? Like, what do they know that I don't know?
Brothers, I want to invite you to the Power Circle. If you haven't participated in the Power Circle, brother, it's a powerful thing. Kind of goes back to what we were saying earlier. Like for the majority of my life, up until like a year or two ago, I wasn't really open to not only just working with brothers, but not even rubbing elbows with men. And it wasn't that I was against brother. It was just that I was so protective of what I had learned. I was so protective of my energy. But brother, I'm gonna tell you what I found over the last 45, 60 days of, you know, with this Power Circle, just me rubbing elbows with brothers like SD Booker, rubbing elbows with all the brothers in the Power Circle, Brother Phil, and a number of men. My life has taken off. I had no idea that just associating myself, that just getting in the same room as other men would elevate me so much. I had no idea. So consider joining the Power Circle. We meet on Sundays. We have other content coming out during the week. Definitely look into it. And here pretty soon, maybe another week or two, or I'm not sure when I have that scheduled. We're gonna have an open house for men to just come in for that one particular Sunday and chime in one morning with us. But Brother Booker, you had one drink where it's called Gentleman Status, man, and I love that chapter of the book, brother. And you said there are seven tools a man must possess in order to be elevated to gentleman status. He must possess the following. You said 1, he must be a good reader or listener. 2, he must have good timing. 3, he must be I'm sorry. The first one is a good reader or learner, my bad. Number 2, good timing. 3, he must be a good listener. 4, he must be productive. 5, he must be responsible and take ownership. 6, he must be self-disciplined. And 7, he must be strong-willed. In other words, have a huge heart, is what you put. If a brother is trying to reach this gentleman status, man, that chapter was powerful. Of those traits, which do you think, you know, are the most, you know, 1 or 2 valuable he should work on first?
I think the one that's the first thing that'll keep a lot of drama down and make your life a lot easier is taking ownership, being responsible. I would think, and I know that's not number one, and so I don't put that in any kind of order on most important, but taking ownership, being responsible. When you do that and stop pointing the finger and stop saying, woe is me, my father wasn't there, my mom was on drugs, or my kid's mother's tripping, and just take ownership. Look within and take ownership, be responsible. Man, the sky's the limit. You can build off of that.
I'm glad you said that, man, because let me give a shout out to my brother Lane. Lane says, El Kid says, heavy, drink 6 is not for those with a weak stomach. Yeah, drink 6 is heavy. We gonna get on that love in a sec. But I'm glad you said that because when I read those, all those top 7 were powerful. But the one that stood out to me was what you said: responsibility and ownership. Yes. Man, I'm telling you, you know, I'm always talking about you know, manifestation and man creating his own world. It's like when people call me for a consult or whether we just have a one-on-one conversation, it's like before we talk about anything, we got to talk about this first. It's like first we have to establish the fact that whatever you're experiencing right now, you created it. Yes. And it's like if you aren't there, like if you don't understand that, then anything we talk about going forward is irrelevant. But because if you're saying that means that you still don't understand your power. And if you don't understand your power, then how can we talk about creating your own world? So I'm glad you said that one, brother. That one, and I'm not gonna lie, discipline stood out to me too. Because I think if a man is aware of take ownership and has discipline,
yes,
brother, he's powerful.
Oh, no,
so my question is, like, what things or what practices or what rituals do you have in place to keep you disciplined, to keep you on point?
I stay mindful. I'm honest with myself. I know what my weaknesses are. and I stay mindful. I stay alert, stay conscious on avoiding certain things, and I never get too high. You know, we can have a few wins in life and think we've conquered certain weaknesses of our own and get on that high horse, and you get caught off guard, and then you're like, damn, I didn't fail back again. I didn't do this again. So, man, stay alert, stay aware, and know yourself. Get to know yourself. Be honest with yourself. Like, I struggle with this. I struggle with that. So I know I can't be in certain situations. I mean, I'm aware. Like, I tell you what, man, about 4 years ago, man, my wife had endured, man, had experienced, like, man, in that year, about a year and a half, maybe about 2 or 3 surgeries, man.
Oh, man.
And it was a rough period for her. And so in that time, man, we weren't having sex. And over time, I would masturbate, man. But then, I'm being honest with you.
Yeah.
So this thing got out of control. I had to look. I said, man, this is. I'm looking at pornography, and I said, man, this thing is out of control, man. And my wife knows about this. And I had to really check myself and say, you know what? If my wife enduring 2 or 3 surgeries over this period of time and it's preventing us to be intimate, if that's what can force me into this, man, I'm not too disciplined in this area then. and so it doesn't matter what's going on. I should able to still be disciplined in this area, and I wasn't. So I had to check myself, and it just showed me that, man, I wasn't as powerful as I thought I was, or you know, there was a weakness there. I didn't even know that was there. And so being conscious of that, being aware, and keeping that in check, man, you know, just helps me a lot.
That's huge, brother.
Yeah.
And that's huge. And not only is it huge, but I can see how that added strength to your relationship, man.
No doubt.
I'll tell you why it's a beautiful thing. Because on the last call, we had a brother that called in, and he said, and I put this link down for anybody want to chime in, want to join the call. He talked about a long relationship he was in, a marriage. He was married. And I think he said at the 15-year mark, give or take, he said that something happened to him. And he said that his wife jumped ship, right? And he was like, you know what? I thought she loved me. I thought she was there. I thought she was there. So it says a lot about your character. Because a lot of men in that situation, a lot of people, men and women in that situation, would easily say, you know what, I'm going to step out. But it's one thing I always say, man. A lot of people don't understand, like when we get in relationships and marriage, and it's like that's a real thing. Right. Like a lot of people read these vows and be like, yeah, girl, if he start tripping, I'm gonna dip. Or men will say, you know what, man, if she stop putting out, then hey, I'll just do something else. It's like, no, brother, when you say for better or for worse, that's a real thing, man. Yes. Like that's a real thing. And like I say, the majority of people that are married now, they shouldn't be married, man. So, brother, I commend you for not only sharing that personal thing with us, because I think a lot of people can learn from it, but just being an upstanding man, on standing by your wife in good times and bad, bro. That's powerful. And it may not seem like a lot to you because it's like just the way you move. But I'm telling you, just as much as I know, a lot of men don't move like that.
Right.
And that's why we need to have these type conversations. That's why these type books need to be put out, just so brothers know how to move. Because at the end of the day, that's it. It's not that men don't want to move, right? It's like they don't have an example. They don't know what to do.
Right.
Like the brother that called in a while ago, brother OD, and I appreciate you calling in, brother OD. You called in. You were very transparent about your situation, and you was like, you know what? Like I'm in a situation. I just need to know how to move. And when I think back to when I was 17, 18, when I was 21, 23, I'm looking around like, man, and I was married. I was like, man, I want to do right, but damn, I don't know how. Like somebody showed, it wasn't no internet, wasn't no YouTube. So a lot of brothers that we, even when the society is saying that, hey, this group of men is, look how they move, look how they think, look how they operate, like they're no good.
Right.
Brothers are solid. It's just that there's not enough direction. And I'm telling you, brothers, if you're in that situation, a toast to the men will guide you toward the right path. I am telling you. Even with the man with a lot of the knowledge he spoke about, just coming from his angle, coming from his personal experiences, I was like, dang it, like it added value to me, man. It added so much value. So I would definitely say, and I saw one of the brothers said Brother Calvin Burns said, just order the book today. Can't wait to read it and absorb all the knowledge. You're at ease for that, brother.
Thank you. Thank you. Man, so you said something important. You said transparency. That's an important word. And I think that's what we were missing as we were coming up. The men were not transparent. Even the pastors, they were not transparent. You know? So we didn't get to see their weaknesses or their failures in a structured way. We might have heard rumors. That's not a structured way. I'm talking about a pastor on the pulpit saying, hey guys, you know, I struggle with this.
Facts.
I overcame it. They don't do that. You know, yeah, when I started dating my wife, she was going to this church. I won't mention it, but the pastor's he died maybe 2 years ago. So I would come down on the weekend and visit her, and I'll go to church with her. And so I'm listening. I'm going to church with her. I'm listening to this cat, man, and famous cat. And I'm listening, and I don't know if I was in a different space at that time or not. But after the third visit, I told her, I said, like, I can't do this church. And she was like, why? I've been coming here for, I think, 10 years at the time. I said, no. I said, he seems like a good brother. I said, but he's not transparent. I said, I hadn't heard anything personal about this brother. I said, but he's telling everybody else what they need to do. But I hadn't heard it. I said, I'm just in a different space now. I just want that meat and potatoes, and you got to be transparent with me. I got to know something about you, and I share something about me. And hey man, we'll chop it up, you know, and trade.
That's
and,
facts.
Yeah.
You know, and I use that like even when I'm choosing a content creator to watch. It's like if I can watch for so long, but if I don't know your story. Like when you give me this advice, I want something attached to it. Get, like you say, some meat. Give me some meat. Like what did you go through, good or bad, to get you to this point? Like if you aren't willing to show that you were vulnerable, that you took an L, that you're weak in some areas, it's like, man, I don't know if I can really trust what you're saying.
Right.
Because I know you're just not immune to the ways of this world. Right. You know what I'm saying? And so that's valuable, bro.
That's what drew me to you. Where I kept, because I don't watch a lot of guys. Or I watch them in small doses, right? But I kept coming back to your channel, and you were so transparent, man, and the struggles you went to when you hit your rock bottom. And I said, you know, brothers just don't share this kind of stuff. No, I say, I like this cat. And I just thought, man, I can do you in huge doses. And so, yeah.
Appreciate it, bro.
You're a rare breed, man. Not many people are doing it like you on this social media. Man,
I appreciate that, brother. LM Kid says there are no more excuses with this book. Kid made a comment earlier. He said, heavy. Drink 6 is not for those with a weak stomach.
Wow.
Drink 6 was powerful. Drink 6 was powerful. And what I like about it is it exposes a man for really who he is. One part that stood out to me in Drink 6 is what it says. It says, before a man can obey the law of love, because Drink 6, let me go back. Drink 6 is titled Law of Love, right? Which is powerful. It says, before a man can obey the law of love and practice the principle with anyone, including himself, he must first love the universe the way the universe loves him. And brother, when I read that, man, I had to sit the book down for about an hour. And I believe I reached out to Brother Kid. And when I reached out to Brother Kid was already ahead of him. He was like, bro, the book is powerful. The book is this. I said, man, I'm behind you, man. So 6 is powerful. Matter of fact, my brother done chimed in. He finna preach to us, brother. Brother Kid.
Fellas.
What's going on, bro?
Man, book, you feeding the hungry, brother. The man that just said he just got this book. I'm telling you, man, look, get by yourself, lock yourself away, and get down, toast to this book, brother. and you'll be a whole different brother on the other side. I'm telling you. But so I got a question for you, man. And I was sitting here thinking about this, and I was like, man, you think about where we are from, and you think about, you know, where we come from, the people we were around, the you know, the entrepreneurs, the you know, all of that. We had the preachers, and man, we left out of that as drifters. How did that happen?
Bro, that's powerful.
Yeah. Wow.
You right, man. But
Now, really, now, and back me up. So if like you say, you stop me when I'm lying. Like, man, we where we grew up, wherever you wanted, you could touch. You wanted to be a doctor, we could take you down the street. You wanted to be, you know, can you still hear me?
Yeah.
Okay. It's like you know, you wanted to be a doctor, you can go down the street. You wanted to be a minister, we could go in the neighborhood. You wanted to be like whatever you wanted to be. But how did we leave that neighborhood as drifters?
So let me give y'all a backstory. I don't have any
sound, guys. I don't know why I can't hear you.
Go ahead and work on, brother. Let me give y'all a backstory real quick on what Brother Kid is talking about. Like Brother Kid, you hear me talking about my day one all the time. Brother Kid is my day one. I literally don't remember a time not knowing him. I really don't. You know, we grew up in the same neighborhood. And what he's saying is like we had the opportunity, like if you could look in our hood, man, and you could see doctors and dentists and ministers and men that were entrepreneurs, own restaurants and own all these things, you know, and we were isolated. Like me and Kid, we grew up like it was almost like we were on an island. And he was saying, how do you even being a product of that environment or being in that environment, how do you still end up in a situation where you're drifting, man? And that's powerful, bro. In my opinion, Kid, and I believe Brother Booker's probably finna chime right back in. In my opinion, it comes down to choices. Like even though you're placed in a great situation, it still comes down to a man's choice because it works both ways. I know some people that were raised in unfavorable positions, no parents, maybe raised up in a foster situation, you know, abused on whatever level you want to go with abuse, you know, and they still come out and they are the great men and the great women of the world, right? So my opinion, bro, it to me is choices, man. It's choices. I want to know what y'all think, though. If a person is raised in an ideal situation, how does that person still drift? That's an amazing question, bro.
Choices. You're right. You're right. So it comes down to choices.
Yeah.
You know, we all got our own cross to carry.
Yeah.
But you know what I also think it boils, and you're right. You know, it comes down to choices. But here's the question: do you really know you have choices? You know what I'm saying? I mean, because when you come from where we come from, it's like we don't know it all. That's not what I'm saying. We don't know it all, but we really think we have seen it all. You know what I'm saying? I mean, we could, if we want to go see the hood, we could go see that. If we wanted to go, you know, where we grew up, we could see that. If we wanted to look a mile out and see the people on the lake, we could do that. So it was like, how do we end up drifters? That's crazy.
You're right, man. You know, Wayne's World TV said distractions affect your choices, and I can speak for myself. Like I just know I made poor choices. I know I made decisions, and I think all of us can say this. All of us can say this. Made decisions in my life that I didn't have to. Even going back to Brother Booker's book, when he was talking about before he got in that small issue of trouble that put him behind bars briefly, I'm sure there was an alternative. I mean, and it could have been going down to flip burgers at two different restaurants. There was an alternative. So it goes back down to choices, man.
No doubt. No doubt.
That's powerful, kid.
I appreciate y'all fellas, man. Y'all boys take it easy.
Take care, bro. Appreciate you calling in, homie.
Thank you, brother.
Yeah, I think it's choices. Brother Alchemistic Gold Mine. Brother, I'm gonna tell y'all, let me pause real quick. Alchemistic Gold Mine. If y'all aren't following his YouTube channel, this is a brother. He just started this channel. He's a prominent member of the Power Circle. He's pretty much, I can easily say that he's the if there's one source in the Power Circle with the most knowledge in mind, the most book resources, he's the go-to for everybody, man. So he just started a YouTube channel. Go subscribe to Alchemistic Gold Mine. But Brother AG says it's the man, not the situation. How many rich kids end up in the gutter? Facts. Like I said, it works both ways, man. If a man can be in the bed, it's almost a benefit for a man to be on the lower end of things, because a lot of times when you're raised and you're in this good situation, you don't really understand what it is you have. So when you see brothers on the block selling dope, you don't really understand that they would much rather be in your shoes. You know what I'm saying? Right. So it goes both ways, man.
Yeah, I agree. I don't separate the man who doesn't know his potential from the man that doesn't know how good he has it.
Yeah. Facts. Well, Brother Booker, man, I appreciate you joining this morning, man. Again, I appreciate you joining with at such late notice, man. I reached out to you last night and you agreed, man. I appreciate that, because I know your schedule is full. Before we go, man, tell everybody where they can find you at.
Wow, you can find me on YouTube. I got a YouTube channel that's doing good. It's picking up. A Toast to the Men with SD Booker. A Toast to the Men with SD Booker. You can get the book from any distributor online, from Goodreads, Barnes and Nobles, Amazon. If you're local to DFW, I'll meet you and sign that for you. I'm on IG, SD Booker. I'm on Twitter. Also have a podcast on Anchor. Toast to the Man with SD Booker. Once a month, I do a conversations with SD Booker. So that's picking up also. And so I really appreciate the opportunity, man, and the love, man, and you having a giving heart, sharing your platform with me.
I appreciate it, brother. And I tell you what I would like to see more of you, man. I would love to see you, more of you and your wife interacting online, because I believe your YouTube channel started off with you and your wife putting content out, right?
It did. And when she started going through the situation I mentioned, we stopped it. I stopped recording altogether. And so when I picked it back up, I just did it by myself. But now I have her on Wednesdays. It's called Wednesdays with Yaya. But I might give her 2 days, man. So,
bro.
Yeah.
And the reason I say that is because like men need to see that. And I'm saying men of all ages, like brothers in their 20s and 30s need to see it. Me as a man at 45, I need to see what a healthy relationship looks like. You know what I'm saying? So, brother, just you and her coming on that platform, and send her my love, but I love your wife, man. I love her. I love her energy. Like we need to see that. You know what I'm saying? So, man, y'all should go 2 or 3 nights a week, bro.
Hey, man, I never realized that until you said that, man. We just out here, giving back. But, man, I got to bring that to her. So I got to bring that to her, bro.
Yeah, man, most definitely, man. And before we wrap up, man, I want to ask you a question that I ask every single person that comes on. Give me one person that has most impacted your life, whether they're alive or no longer with us, and why.
Wow, has most impacted my life, alive or no longer with us. Man, that's a good question, man. I've never been asked that. So, you know what, man? I would say me. I would say me. I'm a student of myself, and I learned the most lessons from my own mistakes and misdeeds, misfortunes. I learned the most from myself. Yeah. There's other people I've learned from, of course.
That's powerful.
But I've learned the most by analyzing and studying and reading myself.
That's powerful, bro. I love it. Brother Booker's in the building. Y'all, guys, go subscribe to the YouTube channel. I see Bale K says this Mr. Booker and his wife have their own channel. Go to want to speak on that, bro? It's YouTube channel, right? It's all on Toast to Men.
We do an episode, a segment, I guess, every Wednesday. Wednesdays with Yaya, but it's on my channel, A Toast to the Men with SD Booker. But we do a segment just for her, Wednesdays with Yaya. So, hey, we might need to create, hey, you gave me another idea, brother. So we might need to create our own channel, though, separate from that. And, man, that's something to look into. But, yeah, that segment with us is on my channel every Wednesday.
Thanks a lot, brother. Again, man, I appreciate you joining. Y'all go subscribe to this brother's YouTube channel, A Toast to Men. Y'all go subscribe to his Instagram. Definitely go buy the book. I'm telling you, if you want to, like I said, I always talk about people. I talk about the Neville Goddards. I talk about the Napoleon Hills. I talk about the Wallace Waddles. And these guys have helped me, navigate on the spiritual realm. But brother, when I picked this book up, it showed me how to walk this earth as a man. It showed me how to interact with my brothers. It showed me how to love myself. You know what I'm saying? It showed me how to overcome challenges. Brothers, a toast to the men. Brother Booker, I appreciate you joining, man. Much love. We're going to have to do it again, brother. Round of applause. Y'all give him a warm at ease. Take care, brother. Men, I can't say it enough. I can't say it enough, man. Our ultimate goal as men, regardless of what age range we're in, man, it has to be to better those around us, and it has to be to better, those coming behind us. And I'm telling you, man, like when I read this book, when I began just chopping it up with brother Booker, it just shed more light on that, man. So again, let's just become better men. At the end of the day, we just need to focus on becoming better men. We need to focus on iron sharpening iron. Like the brother that had the situation, like, hey man, I got a girl, like she's gonna be my ex, I got a child. How do I overcome this? How do I overcome this? Like Brother Booker said, we have to be transparent. We have to be vulnerable, man. We have to be vulnerable as men in 2021 to succeed. See, the men behind us, they couldn't move like that. It was a different era. Men were macho. Men were pumping chests. Men had no wrong. Men had no flaws. Men had no faults. And as a result of that, men fail and fail hard. We have to be a different type of brotherhood in this time, man. We have to be the type of men that can easily reach out to those around us, man, get advice and just move different. Again, man, I appreciate y'all joining. Much love. I appreciate the super chats. It's your boy Soul Immortal, and I'm out.